staff from Nottingham travelling, there's been investments, but then there have also been opportunities for students at KNUST to access laboratories. There have been students doing split-site PhDs. At the end, they have graduated with their PhD from KNUST, but they have spent time. There are graduates of KNUST getting guaranteed funding allocations when they progress to the university. So looking at how you bring together lots of different things to keep having open communication, I think is really important.
Thank you. A round of applause for her. So simply put, partnerships should be a win-win situation, I guess. And mutual respect in there, so that whatever you bring to the table is acknowledged, and then what we are taking home as well is acknowledged. Prof. PK, are you online? Prof. Richardson, please, can you hear me? He's speaking, but we can. Hello, Prof?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, loud and clear.
I can hear you.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're currently on partnership, and I'll be grateful if you can help us digest the question of what role partnerships play in enhancing global reputation and attractiveness of institutions. So what is the role of partnership in ensuring attractiveness and also reputation?
Well, we can go to the basic that country that 2 heads are better than 1. And 3 heads even better. So when we can pull resources together, we have an equation that says 2 plus 2 is 5 rather than 4. So by collaborating with others, you enhance mutual reputation. You actually can pull resources together, have economies of scale. You can choose universities that will add value to yours and vice versa. And there are many. And the important thing we need to understand and take on board is, how do you actually choose your partner? How do you determine who you want to get into bed with? And the important aspects are choosing institutions that will bring value, institutions of common interest, institutions of mutual respect, open communication. And there are many. There are many universities around the world. There are many institutions of higher education where one institution can look around and pick others and collaborate with. And then, of course, achieve economies of scale, economies of scope, exchange of students, exchange of staff, and so many things. In doing that, you actually enhance your own reputation, your own value around the world. Because as I said, 2 heads are better than 1. It's always good to look for others you can actually collaborate with. And it brings enormous benefits, some of which I've just said.
Thank you very much for your remarks on partnership. I heard you look for institutions that have a shared reputation like yours, if not better, so that a partnership is going to better your lot and not dim your shine, to use a modern parlance. Thank you very much. Would you like to say something else, sir?
There was a bit on
we'll
funding.
get there. Funding, yes. We are
the
almost
funding side was of interest.
Okay, please go ahead, yeah.
Right. And a lot of the time, universities believe that funding should always come from government. But there are many areas of funding. There are industries prepared to put money into universities to develop new projects, new processes, and so on. And sometimes you need to be more adventurous and proactive. Sometimes we think money should come from somewhere, but we should rather go look after the money, look for the money. And it's amazing what you can get if you actually go around talking to people. Do you know that if you put money into our research department, we can advance our product development that may be of use to you and so forth and so on. So collaboration, even the multilateral institutions, UNIDO, World Bank and so forth and so on, they actually have pots of money which they can advance into universities for research. But we don't ask for them, either because we don't know or we are not adventurous enough. So we need to diversify our sources of income. And government research funds are always there. In the UK, we have that you can tap into. As I said, industry collaboration, and even alumni endowment. You know, if we set up some project and talk to our alumni and say, hey guys, we need money to advance A and B and C. It's amazing what that can generate in terms of money. And then corporate sponsorships. So there are areas we just need to be more adventurous. Where can we get money? Who can we interest in the sort of things we're doing? And once we start asking questions, these ideas will come and we can go around and actually take advantage of all these opportunities. Numerous around. There are even individuals who are prepared to put their money on a project just for the benefit of you naming the project after them. In Manchester Business School, we had somebody who was an ex-student coming to us and say, look, if you can name the school after me, I'll give you 20 million pounds. And it's Lord Alliance. So we put Alliance on the school, and it's now Alliance Manchester Business School. The point I'm trying to raise is that we need to be more adventurous because there are sources of money out there, and we have to diversify and look out for these things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for expanding the discussion as far as our funding base is concerned. And you being an alumnus yourself and mentioning the element of the alumni, I'm connecting that to our MC's agenda of getting our alumni involved in raising funds. We definitely will be coming back to you on that. Thank you.
That would be nice. I look forward to that.
The next thematic area we'll be discussing is on student mobility. Mr. Cham has been seated for a while, and I'm sure he's itching to chip in his thoughts. Being an international student yourself at KNUST and also an experienced worker in your home country, how has your international education at KNUST shaped your career goals and perspectives?
Okay, thank you so much. As a student, an international student in KNUST, I believe my education in KNUST has enhanced my professional network. That is through participation in international programs, you know, and conferences. Also, I feel like my language competence has been developed, language and communication competence. That is, I'm able to learn new languages, like, for example, in Chi, you know, and I'm also able to improve on my communication skills. Okay? Shaping personal and professional identity. International experience often challenge individuals to step out of their comfort zones, leading to personal growth. I think my experience in KNUST, you know, has also led me to this. The last one is leadership and innovation. International experience develop leadership qualities. I believe my being in KNUST here has really developed my leadership qualities. That being the case, that I can be confident that I can partake in any international leadership, you know, organizations. Thank you.
you so very much and for sharing with us what KNUST has contributed to the man that you are. We are grateful. Thanks. Same on student mobility. We'll be grateful if Emma can share her thoughts because of the position she occupies as a consultant for students who want to study abroad. How can institutions support students in navigating different cultural and academic contexts?
Thank you very much. I would say it's about having a combination of intentionality and an open door policy. My father was the chaplain at the University of Nottingham. So I grew up on campus, and every Sunday my mother would cook for about 12 people. So I had 2 brothers and sisters, so we were 5. So she was cooking more than double what was needed for the 5 that we were. And every Sunday at the end of the church service, there would be an open invite for whoever didn't have lunch arranged yet on that day to come home and eat. And almost every Sunday, the seats at the table, you know, we'd have to expand the dining table to make sure that it could fit everybody. But almost every Sunday, that table was full. It was at that table that I met the first KNUST alumni who I'm still in contact with today, Nana Aredamwa. Some of you will know him for his writings. And he was a regular, and there were certain people who became regulars. There were certain people who thought, am I overstepping this welcome? And they would want to book in advance. You know, they'll say, okay, can I come 3 Sundays from now? What can I bring? The reason that I'm telling you this is that there was a planning that took place. My mum would make sure that there was always 1 vegetarian dish, 1 meat dish. She didn't know who was going to show up. And so if you have got international students that are coming to you, or you've got international students who are heading out, how are you planning for what you're going to do for them? How are you calling alumni who have gone through that same path and can share their own experiences and say, this is what I experienced? How are you planning for the different things that they need? Are you taking time to talk to them about, okay, in a social environment, this is what is going to happen. In the workspace, this is what you might encounter that is different from what you are used to, you know. In Ghana, if you don't greet, you're in big trouble. So any UK colleagues of mine that come, you know, I will warn them, you know, don't enter any office space, any building, and not say good morning, because it's a different kind of cultural expectation. Whereas in an office building in the UK, you might only say good morning to the person who sits next to you, but you might not necessarily greet every other person on your way. It's not that you don't greet people, but it's just not an expectation. So think about those different contexts that they're going to find themselves in. Think about especially the employment context. Think about how are you extending your career services to think about what international students are going to have as challenges to them. So do that planning, make sure that there's enough seats at the table, there's enough food for everybody, and then make sure that you keep that door open. Make sure that that invitation stays open so that those services can be accessed. And so I'm expecting to have a group of students this Sunday, you know, who are planning to travel, and it's cultural in that it's a time to eat together and share, but it's also a time to prepare and have former students, people that are maybe currently in the UK that are here on a visit, you know, come and share those experiences. So intentionality and that open door policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Intentionality, preparedness, and then readiness to welcome them. Thank you very much. And this is on student mobility. We move on to staff mobility, and then I will start with, again, Mr. Chum He's a student, but he's also a worker. So he will help us address how staff mobility programs, you know, there's a general perception that staff mobility programs are skewed towards a certain caliber of staff in most institutions. So how can institutions, I would rather like Mr. Prof. PK to answer that. Prof. PK, because he's a visiting fellow. Yes, please help us how staff mobility programs can be inclusive and accessible to all caliber of staff.
That's right.
Yes.
Exchange programs and faculty members going to other universities, spending time there, short or long, have several benefits. One, they improve their skills by going overseas and spending time elsewhere. And they improve their confidence to deliver stuff when they get back. They get a global worldview. In other words, there's an exposure element when you go overseas. Not only what you learn, but the fact that you operate in a different society gives you an exposure element that you cannot get back at home. Then, of course, research collaboration. Once you overseas, there's the possibility of linking up with some of the faculty members and getting into joint research, publication, and so forth and so on. And there's also the opportunity for mentorship. There must be some big guys, some big name in Manchester University who come here, can I do some work with you? Oh, yeah, come. And then that person becomes a mentor. So numerous benefits for our mobility programs. The question is, how do we facilitate this? And I'll talk about 5 points. One, the criteria for selection should be open, should be transparent. A lot of the time we find that some people tend to get all the goodies that come with regard to people who oversee things. So the process should be transparent, criteria should be transparent, so that if anybody gets it, everybody else will know that they were not favored. So there must be some objective metrics that is used to standardize the process. That's the first point. Second point is that there must be diverse opportunities for everybody. The system, the process must offer a range of mobility opportunities that cater to different career stages, not only senior lecturers or professors, but even teachers, different departments, different roles, different personal circumstances. So diversity must be important here, so that some groups are not disadvantaged. It must have an inclusive design. That's the second point. The third point is the support system. In other words, there must be some sort of mentorship and coaching to help all staff prepare to be able to get into the net of those who go overseas for trips and internships and so forth and so on. So especially underrepresented groups should be supported to be able to get into the net so that they also qualify to go. And resources should be offered for this. And then feedback and improvement. Every time people go overseas and come back, there must be a system where they are debriefed so that we can actually learn what is it that they did right, what is it that they did wrong, what it is that they found which was not good or which was good. If we get a sense of new people there, how do we actually brief them based on the feedback that we got from those who went earlier, so that we can actually use the feedback to achieve continuous improvement in this. And the last one is simply, we have to promote inclusivity. Foster a workplace culture, foster a culture in the university which values diversity. So everybody is, in a sense, trained to understand that it's a varied place, different departments, different experience, different religions, different backgrounds, all of them working together to make the university the place that everybody can be proud of. And therefore, this must go into everybody's mind, that once we are on campus, once we get there, we are equal, we are together, we're working, to achieve whatever we want to achieve, as well as project the good image of the university and the reputation worldwide. So these are the sort of things that we need to do.
Thank you very much, Prof. Richardson, for your intervention on how we can balance the scales as far as staff mobility is concerned. I like the part on feedback, so that when you benefit from these programs, the university or universities can be deliberate about documenting the feedback, and so it can inform future decisions. Thank you so very much. The next panelist to speak on staff mobility is Mr. Lamin Cham. As I had indicated earlier, he's a student and also a staff in his own right. Lamin?
Okay, thank you so much. To ensure staff mobility programs to be aligned with institutions' goals and objectives, institutions must try and put strategic, well-articulated approach that integrates mobility into broader institutional missions. First of all, there should be aligned mobility with strategic planning. There should be involvement of leadership in program design, develop clear guidelines and policies, incorporate mobility into professional developments, monitor and evaluate impact of staff mobility, facilitate target mobility opportunities, engage staff in institutional goals, provide incentives for alignments, and also foster international cooperation. Maybe let me take two of them. To align mobility with strategic planning. Embed staff mobility. Staff mobility must be embedded into institutional strategic plan, ensuring that there is direct support in the institutional goals, such as enhanced research outputs, etc. Also talking about involving leadership in program designs. Senior leaders or leaderships must be involved in program designs and approvals that align with the institution's vision and strategic goals. Also to talk about monitor and impact, regular assessment of impact of staff mobility on institutional goals through feedbacks from participations, departments, and internal partners, such as publications, teaching innovations, partnerships, etc., as a result of mobility. So let me also look at interdepartmental collaboration. Encourage collaborative mobility programs that involve multiple interdepartmental collaborations. The last one, prioritize partnership with institutions that share similar goals and complementary strengths. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We are far behind time, so this is where we draw the curtain on the panel discussion. I've been doing this with Lamin, Emma, Sue, and Piquet, who joined us online to discuss the topic of scaling the internationalization drive with special emphasis of finance, research, partnership, staff, and student mobility. And my name is Marian. Thank you for indulging us.
Thank you. Thank you, Marian, for
Dance is Amaraba and is originating from Rwanda. Shall we please applaud our students? Ladies and gentlemen, shall we please applaud them? Before, right? They always live up to expectation anytime they are called to perform. And today I know the name of the dance because I usually see the First Lady of Rwanda performing it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. The program continues. It's my pleasure now to welcome the Dean of IPO, supported by a rep from UITS, to launch the IPO website and an app which will facilitate their work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, another round of applause. Mr. Emmanuel Infum. Emmanuel Infum. Okay. So, for all the things that we have talked about, the services that the International Programs Office offers, staff mobility, student mobility, and all the various exchanges that we talk about, rests on an effective MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. And about 65 to 70% of the work that we do at the International Programs Office revolves around obtaining strategic MOUs. One of the biggest challenges that we keep facing is having faculty across the university and sometimes in different parts of the world asking, Prof, do we have an MOU with this country? How about this one? We really want to enter into a partnership with this team, but we are not too sure about that. And so, to help us solve that problem, we look to homegrown solutions. The University Information Technology Services, UITS, is a world-class institution, and we reached out to them, and they have helped us to come up with an app which serves as a one-stop shop for all our MOUs and all our interactions. Actually, last year in Kenya, our friends from Kenya asked us, we have about 200 MOUs. We don't even know how to manage it. How do you do it? And I said, wait, later on when we find the solution, then you can come and consult us. So I'm happy to invite upstage Mr. Emmanuel Infum from the UITS. Also, we have upgraded our website. We have always had a website, and we have also upgraded that to reflect a lot of the things that we are doing in the various changes that has come about. And so I invite Emmanuel here to do a 2 to 3 minute demo, and I will kindly ask the Vice Chancellor to officially launch the MOU app. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Dean and Madam Vice Chancellor, all protocols duly observed. It's an honor to be here to share in the vision of the International Programs Office. And as a UITS, we support any drive that leads to infusing technology to enhance service delivery, right? I wouldn't take much time, but thankfully this year, thanks to the benevolence of management, we migrated to the Microsoft 365 platform. And it has a lot of advantages, one of which we have used to come up with a solution to help manage various MOUs. And so we have leveraged on what you call SharePoint and Power Apps to come up with a very simple interface. It has other integrations, but in order not to bore you, I will just ask that we show the Power App, the SharePoint interface. It's a very simple interface, but with a lot of integrations. Quite unfortunately, it's not too clear. But then it has fields for every information that has to do with MOUs. And it has alerts in there. These alerts are able to detect MOUs that are about to get to their expiry date or expiration. And then it has been automated to send emails to both partners, to the hierarchy of IPO, and to anybody associated with the MOU, to prompt them a number of times so that they can come and they can renew the mandates of the MOU. In there also, we have information on those who have benefited from the MOU, be they students or staff, or be it any benefits that the university has been able to gain through the MOU. And as you rightly said, because, as Prof. Richardson rightly said, partnership is key here. So in addition to that, we are infusing this with a dashboard, a Power BI dashboard, which at a glance tells you which MOU is nearing expiration so that the office can take the necessary action. Quite unfortunately, the screen is not too clear, but that's, in summary, is what we are doing and what we have done. And this, we believe, will help both our partners and KNUST and also help our students and staff to become the best they can be. Thank you very much.
And so we'll kindly like to call on the Vice Chancellor to officially launch the MOU app.
Are you clapping for them? Thank you very much. Yes, I like the bit about the MOUs at your doorstep bit, so that at any given time it's very accessible and we are all on the same page. Obviously, this is a very, very good initiative, and we applaud leadership for this. Can we do it again for them? That aside, I think on everybody's, when it's your birthday, you want to try and look out for some new attire that you want to put on. So I guess with regards to the upgrading of the website, this is what they have done. Please don't get confused. It's not that we are 20 years and it's today that we are getting a website for IPO. That's not it. We already have a website which we keep upgrading and celebrating 20 years milestone. They want to lay emphasis on the upgrading that has been done. Dean, correct? So that said, I have the singular honor to launch, first of all, the MOU of IPO at this 20th anniversary celebration, and also the upgrading that has been done for the IPO's website. So we declare it launched. Thank you very much, and let's clap for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Now we are going to cut the anniversary cake, and you should see it. I have seen it. Well, it's good you clap, but it is not an assurance that you'll get some to taste when. Okay. I've been told we are modifying the program a bit, so we'll present our awards before we cut the cake. I respectfully invite the Vice Chancellor to come up stage. The Dean of IPO as well. There are some distinguished personalities who, for varied roles, are going to be awarded. In recognition of your visionary approach and unwavering commitment as past deans of the International Programs Office, our first awardee, ladies and gentlemen, is Professor S.K. Agojo, who was the Dean in 2004 to 2005. Professor S.K. Agojo. Okay, I will plead with Professor Daniel Anson to pick the award on his behalf. Prof. Anson, former Dean of School of Medicine. Congratulations, Professor S.K. Agojo. Next to be awarded is the late Professor A.A. Edimado, who was the Dean from 2006 to 2007. I will call on, okay, Professor Mrs. Marian Kansa to pick it on his behalf. Next to be awarded is Professor R.K. Kasanga, Dean IPO 2007-2010. I call on Professor Mrs. Victoria Bam to pick it on behalf of Professor Kasanga. After Professor Kasanga, Professor Kwesi Obri-Danso, past Vice Chancellor of this university, occupied the office from 2010 to 2013. I call on Professor Mrs. Linda Aurelia Ofori to pick it on behalf of Professor Obri-Danso. Thank you, Linda. I now invite Professor William Odro, Dean of IPO 2013 to 2016. He is here himself. Please applaud him. Thank you very much, Prof, for all the good work you did in the office. Okay, so our next awardee is Professor K. Opoku Amankwa, who was in the office from 2016 to 2017. Who do I call? Professor Bailon, please speak it on behalf of Professor Opoku Amankwa. Thank you. Now, if we are talking about past deans, the last on the list, Professor Rexford Asase Opon. Thank you. The deans didn't work in the office alone, they worked with registrars. In recognition of your outstanding leadership and remarkable service as a past registrar of IPO, I call on the following. First, Mrs. Christiana Amuakon Apieje, award to be picked by Mrs. De Graft on her behalf. Thank you. And now, the longest serving registrar in that office, Mrs. Mercy Vanessa Apia Castell, 2008 to 2014. Mr. Kumijan, Daniel Kumijan, former boss of Vanessa, will pick the award. Between 2014 and 2018, Mrs. Aida Said, current college registrar of College of Engineering, worked very hard to bring the office to where it is today. Thank you very much, Ms. Aida Said. Mrs. Gladys Adair, 2018-2023, 5 years in the office. Your work is being appreciated this morning. Thank you very much. Now, in recognition of your visionary effort in fostering strategic partnerships and commitment to advancing collaborations between KNUST and partner institutions, KNUST IPO appreciates the following. Professor Ahmed Abdul Rahman, Vice Dean, Faculty of Electrical and Computer Engineering. He's facilitated MOUs between KNUST and Offenbach University of Applied Sciences, Germany, ARM Limited, UK, Road and Shores GmbH, Germany, and then School of Engineering in France. Next, Professor Daniel Anson, former Dean, School of Medical Sciences. Fostered collaborations between IPO and Ghana Health Service, Bekwai Municipal Hospital, Santosh Medical Village, and Georgia Southern University, USA. Our next awardee is Professor Jerry John Ponyo Dean, Quality Assurance and Planning Unit. Facilitated MOUs between the University and Stellenbosch University, South Africa Diaspora for Development LLC, USA, and Platform in Germany. I call on Reverend Father Dr. Anthony Na to pick the award on his behalf. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, our last awardee this morning, Professor Victoria Bubunyo Bam, Vice Dean, School of Nursing and Midwifery, facilitated MOUs between the university and Yale School of Nursing, University of Michigan, and University of Huddersfield in the United States. Thank you. We are grateful. So, Vice Chancellor, please stay back. Yourself, the Dean, Chairman of the Planning Committee, Professor Poe. And all past deans, yes, please join us on stage. All past deans, all past registrars present, current registrar. Oh, okay, so distinguished panelists this morning, please join in cutting the 20th anniversary cake. All our panelists, Ziboshu, Adam Tayu, the initiators of the collaborations, please come on stage to help. Nana Hema, please join them.
So we, please, just make sure you come closer, come closer. So we cut this cake. So we cut this cake in the name of God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Hip, hip, hip.
So all planning committee members, please come upstage.